Hello and welcome to a game of StarCraft 2 between BratOK and Aristeo. BratOK will be playing as the yellow Terran player at the upper left hand corner, and Aristeo will be playing as the light blue Zerg at the lower right hand corner. The map is going to be Shakuras Plateau, and StarCraft 2 is a lot like shopping in that both of them requires a lot of decision making. Have you ever been to the mall during the busy holiday season shopping for the ones you love, and you suddenly get the urge to go, go. So I quickly exited the store, located the bathroom, and speed walked in that direction. My eyes were wide open, but my mind was thinking, walk faster and squeeze harder. When I finally got there, my butt was inches away from the toilet, and I realized I was in a room full of smiling ladies, and I knew I should have scouted properly. And if you take a look at this SCV right now, it's coming over to the edge of the base. It's a little bit peculiar, but if you take a look at the bottom of the map at around the same time, Aristeo is going to be scouting in that direction. So had BratOK caught a glimpse of that Overlord, he will know his opponent is at the upper right hand position. So by moving that SCV slightly to the right and seeing if his opponent is there, he did save a couple of seconds, and he will know where his opponent is located. Unless his opponent does not scout, and it looks like Aristeo will be coming in here with the drone, and the SCV will be able to deter that, even though the drone should be able to win over the SCV because the SCV does not have any health regeneration. But it looks like the drone will head back as Aristeo has already opened the hatch and the spawning pool as well, and he just began work on the extractor, and there is going to be one drone chasing the SCV around. It's a good idea to have one worker chase the opponent worker around because the opponent is going to lose that mining time, and at the same time you're forcing him to micro a little bit more, and if he were not to micro, he would lose that workers. So it's not always a bad idea to try to hug it out with your opponent inside your own base behind your mineral lines. And BratOK does have a marine over there at the front of the ramp, and he's also constructing a factory. He is on 1 gas at the moment, whereas Aristeo is also on 1 gas, and this SCV is getting shot at. He has been taking 2 hits and a 3, 4. Ooh, he is getting close to death over here, and there's going to be 2 marines scouting through the middle of the map. What these marines are doing right now is they're looking for zerglings that are holding control of the watchtowers. As we can see, there is an overlord at the lower left hand side as he was unable to find his opponent there. There is, it looks like 4 zerglings, and 1 spine crawler is going to be going down next to the expansion. So if we take a look at the unit count, we will see that there are 19 drones versus 18 SCVs, but the mule for the Terran player is going to be able to help him tremendously as he is pretty much even in terms of the mineral income with the Zerg player. And we could also see a starport is going to be coming out along with a Hellion. So this is going to be a nice mix of units as BratOK is going to be opening with the 111. He does not yet have any of the add-ons attached to any of those buildings, but one should be coming up momentarily. And if we take a look at the Zerg's player's point of view, he does have both the watchtowers, but that is what the Terran player is going to try to prevent. He is going to come in here and try to get rid of the vision for the Zerg player because those Zerglings are so cheap. They're 25 minerals each. They will be able to get you the information you want relatively cheaply, and the queen along with the spine crawler is going to go over to the edge of the base right over here, the edge of the ramp, because this way you will be able to get some number of free shots on your opponent, and this overlord is going to go down. The Hellion went over to the watchtower, giving Marines the vision of the high ground, which is exactly where the overlord was hiding. Very, very good thinking there by BratOK. And BratOK is going to come in here with the Hellion. The Hellion does escape barely. One more hit, he would have been dead. And the Marines are going to move back, but there is a pack of Zerglings coming across, and these pack of Zerglings will be able to kill these Marines very, very quickly. And now BratOK is in a little bit of trouble. He really needs to block off everything he has because he only has 1 Marine. The Zerg player has 21 drones and 16 Zerglings, but that attack from BratOK has forced his opponent to build extra Zerglings, and extra Zerglings means less income in the long haul. So he has hurt his opponent a little bit, but at the same time he is a little bit in a bad position because he only has those 3 units to protect him. And if we take a look at the income, once again, both players relatively the same, but the Zerg player is powering ahead because he does have more drones, and it looks like he wants to come in here with some Zerglings. I think he realized that his opponent can't have too much because he has the Hellion and those Marines, and there was a huge battle in the middle and he lost that battle, so he wanted to harass, but the Banshee does come out in time and we could see a medevac along with the Stemmas being researched for the Marines, and this Banshee is going to come around to kill off some of these Zerglings. A very good idea because that will allow your opponent to not have vision of you anymore, but one more Zergling does run up to the upper tower as the lower tower's Zergling does go down. There's one Zergling over here checking on when his opponent is going to be expanding, and a Spire is going to be come up momentarily. There is the command center. Orbital command has already been morphed in, and there is a lot of SCV over here. That is not the optimal number of SCVs as he's going to pull off, it looks like, about 7 or 6 SCVs, and there is one Banshee checking around the map, making sure that his opponent does not have the information he wants, because when you have information you can sit on it comfortably, and it looks like he will send out more Zerglings. This is a really good play from the Zerg player, but he will get that Zergling shot at, so if we take a look at the vision of both players, and he is going to send out another Zergling. And if we take a look at the vision of the Zerg player, he sees a factory, he does not see the starport or the additional 2 barracks, and one more Zergling is running across the map. Once again, 2 reactors going up simultaneously on those barracks, so we probably will be seeing a lot more Marines coming out. And if we take a look at the vision of the Terran player, he only sees the 2 hatcheries, but so far he's seen nothing but Zerglings, so he probably has a pretty good idea about what his opponent is going to do, and he probably wants to do a push or a scan here so he can see exactly what's going on, because knowing your opponent will have Zerglings is not very helpful, and some creep tumors are being laid down by the Queens, and BratOK is going to drop off at the high edge here. He does have Hellions, he does have Marines, 2 Hellions, a lot more Marines, and 8 Mulas are going to spawn momentarily for Aristeo, and he's also going to be building Roach Warren along with the Baneling's Nest. The Siege Tech is being researched along with the +1 weapon for the infantry, so the infantry are still at 0-0 at the moment, and one medevac is in the back, but there's a medevac along with these Marines, and he will take down one Queen immediately, and these drones are going to die very quickly, and the Hellions are moving to the back away from the Mulas. The Mulas are getting shot at by the Marines. One Mulas almost going down. The Banshee does go down to the Queens. The Queens are alright, but these drones are going down very quickly. This is a really good harass and timing for BratOK, as allowed him to scout not only the Roach Warren and the Baneling's Nest, but also do some harassment on the mineral line. After that harass, the Zerg player is no longer in the lead. He is slightly behind. Before the harass, it was 76 to 67 was the army count. So right now is a slight advantage for the Zerg player Aristeo, and if we take a look at the unit, we will see about the same number of drones and SCVs, but that's simply because the Terran player BratOK has taken down a lot of those drones, and he has split up his medevacs. This is a really good idea. You don't want to get all your medevacs caught up at once, because those mulas do fly faster than the medevacs. We do see centrifugal hooks along with the Roach Speed. Gliru Constitution is being upgraded. He does take down one SCV, and he might lose a Mulus. The Mulus does run away in time. Very close to death there. About 4 more shots. Ooh, he takes a shot from the missile turret, but the missile turret actually shoots a fully alive Mulus, so he was able to prevent his death there, and the Overseer is going to walk around with these Mulus. Not walk around, they're air walking actually, and BratOK is coming here, putting down a missile turret, trying to establish his dominance in the middle of the map as he's pushing out a little bit with the Marines and tanks. There's 2 tanks in the middle of the map, and these Marines might be able to take down some of these Mulus. The Mulus are trying to kill off the tanks, but he will not, and 2 Mulus goes down. That is not a good exchange for Aristeo, and he might lose this Overseer as well. Oh no! There's a pool of blood in midair, and it splatters on all the smiling Marines below. And the Marines are going to push in here very soon, and it looks like he will come in here once again, trying to kill off some of these creep tumors. And the Zerg is going to be ready for it this time, and it looks like he's going to back off here and kill off a Queen that was hugging it out with a rock. I guess that Queen really likes that rock for some reason, because there was, I don't think, any reason for that Queen to be there. And these Mulus along with Roaches and Banelings are going to be meeting the Terran player at the middle of the map at any moment, and more Marines are coming for the Terran player, and there's going to be more and more upgrade. The army size at 101 to 103. BratOK does have a slight lead because of that harass, and he will be sending 1 medevac down here and 1 Marine to the tower. The medevac probably will be dropping at the base momentarily, as you can keep track of that drop at the lower right hand corner of your screen while we follow the main action on the main screen. The tanks are getting sieged up, and the Marines are coming in here. Very good placement of the tanks. Ooh, 2 of those Roaches go down immediately, and I think he took down 1 or 2 of those Mulas, and the Marines are going to push forward. The Marines are 1-0 at the moment, 2-0 upgrades coming very shortly, and the tanks are 0-0 And there's a drop inside the base while the main forces of BratOK are still pushing forward. That is forcing the Zerg player to move all of his forces behind, and I think BratOK knows this, so he's going to push his tanks. He's not sieging up his tanks. He needs to siege his tanks. The Zerglings and Roaches are running in. These Marines are not going to live too long. A lot of those Marines go down almost immediately to those Banelings, and some of those those Marines actually got picked up by the Medivacs. Very, very good play there by BratOK. BratOK has probably fooled his opponent as well, or maybe not. And he's dropping at the high ground. He can pick this up anytime he wants to. And the Marines are coming in here. Very, very nicely done. He does pick them up once again. And these Medivacs are free to roam as they please. No Mutalisks, Hydralisks, or Infestors to harass them. These ground units are simply looking up at the skies, wondering why they're there. And the Medivac is going to come to another expansion. Looks like this expansion only has 3 drones. The army size at 105 to 125. BratOK is pulling slightly ahead as he does have more production facilities. He does have, it looks like, 3 barracks fully producing the Marines. And these SCVs are happily mining the minerals at the moment. And there's a scan, and it looks like he's not going to go in. Aristeo has seen the scan and is going to go up. These Marines stump and they run away. They should get in the medevac, and they do. None of those Marines die. Very, very good play there. All the Marines are alive and well. And it looks like the Terran player is ahead in terms of the upgrades right now. He has 2 0 upgrades for his infantry. He has 1 0, whereas the Zerg, I think, is still at 0s for both the air, melee, as well as the missile attacks. None of the upgrades have been completed in terms of attack and defense. Only speed upgrades for the Roaches and the Banelings. And I think the Zerg player needs to do something different here, as there's a lot of units moving across the map, but the Zerg is not able to exert himself because the Creep Tumor were all shot to poop, and these Mutalisks are still flying around the map, not really wanting to leave. And there is a medevac at the upper right hand corner of the map, possibly thinking about trying to heal his Marines before he goes in. And there's going to be a huge battle at the middle of the map. These tanks are not sieged, they're sieging right now, and it looks like 2 of those Mutalisks die immediately. These Roaches are coming in very, very close to these tanks, and the Roaches will be able to take down a good chunk of this army, but they do not want to fight the tank along with those Marines. The Marines are driving the Roaches back, and it looks like he will be able to pick off that one more Roach, and he does pick it off, and he will leave home and go home very happy. Tell his wife that he's done his job. And 2 extractors are coming online at the moment for Aristeo. If we take a look at the income, there's going to be a lot more minerals for the Terran player, as he does have more bases at the moment, but the Zerg player does have more minerals, more gas I mean, and BratOK doesn't really need that much gas, as he has a tremendous large army. And there was a battle in the middle, and this battle was not very eventful, as BratOK picked up all of his troops like before, and this siege tank will be able to try to hold off this attack here. And there are also tanks sieging at the high ground in the middle of the map. There's a set of Marines at the natural expansion, and he's going to move in as soon as he deters this force of Banelings. The Banelings are coming in, and he will get about, I think, around 5 or 6 of those SCVs, and the main force of BratOK is going to get dropped off in the middle of the map. There's also a set of Marines over here that will come into contact with the hatchery momentarily, and it looks like he's going to go for another push, as there is a bunch of Zerglings. The Zerglings are not getting too many kills, as a lot of those Marines were picked up immediately by the medevacs, and the Mutalisks are working on the tanks. The tanks are not protected by the Marines on the low ground, and these medevacs are still keeping the Marines alive. The Marines, along with the Marauders, are going to have their 3-0 upgrade very soon, and he's coming in at the expansion as well. He's harassing the natural expansion of the upper right hand corner base, and I think Aristeo is in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to be able to kill off a lot of these overlords and supply block his opponent, but his opponent doesn't really have that much. He has a lot of Zerglings and Mutalisks. These Mutalisks are coming in, but there are simply too many medevacs healing too many Marines. Good game, Aristeo. Good game. Hope you guys enjoy that. If you like what you see, please do subscribe, and also come face my book and twit my tur. See you guys at the next game.